got asked a question a while ago. What is it that makes hair grow? And let me go ahead and take a whack at answering that, and also hopefully answering the question, okay, hair is grown by cells in the human body and in other kind of body, but cells are itty bitty tiny things, and hair, well, my hair's not all that long, but hair can be quite long. So how can something that's really little produce something that is really big? So let's go ahead and start this off. First of all, the cell has a part called the nucleus, and I think I talked about that in my last video, What is a Cell? Go back and watch that if you haven't seen it. Okay, nucleus has plans for how to build things, and it sends a message to another part of the cell that acts kind of like a factory. And it sends message to start building a protein. Cat, I don't need your help. Okay, proteins are a special kind of molecule that are found in bodies, and they can make a whole lot of different things out of 20 different types of building blocks. These are Legos. These are not actual building blocks of protein, but it works for me. These molecules are called amino acids. Scientists call them amino acids, even though they're not actually amino acids. What they are ammonium carboxylate zwitterions. And I'm told that if you can say the words ammonium carboxylate zwitterions 10 times fast, that anything you set your mind to, you will be able to achieve. So, here goes. Ammonium carboxylate zwitterions, ammonium carboxylate zwitterions, ammonium carboxylate. Okay, so much for me being able to do whatever I set my mind to. But, body sends messages to tell them which pieces to put together first. Okay, if we're making a protein, we're making a molecule called keratin, and we'll start out with the base, that'll be methionine. And then we're going to take a little amino acid, put it here, and we're going to take a longer one, put it there, and then another little one here. And this time we're going to use a bigger one, and put it right there. And then we got another small one, and then another big one, and another small one, and another big one, and we just keep following the plans over and over again, and we just put onto this what the next amino acid is. And you'll see it's starting to get a particular shape here. I'll speed things along by just, let's go ahead and add some more of this, and you'll notice we're getting this big structure. It's kind of like a spring, and that's going to make it kind of flexible and yet strong. Scientists like to call this kind of a shape a helix, and yet scientists don't refer to the seasons as summer, winter, fall, winter, and helix. They still call it summer, fall, winter, and spring, so they're not being all that consistent. But here is a molecule, and we'll go ahead. This is not what it looks like, but this is my version of this molecule called keratin. Keratin is used to make hair. It's also used to make fingernail, horns in other kind of animals. A slightly different version of it is used to make feathers in birds. And so there's a lot of uses for this particular molecule. And notice it's long, it's thin, and it would stack quite nicely next to another molecule of keratin. Let me go ahead and get this one out. Notice this one is the same shape, but if I line it up just right, I can get it so that these tabs out here will click together, and I'll get something even stronger. This would be what's referred to as a dimer. Scientists call this a dimer, but they really ought to call each individual ones a nickelmer, but they call it a monomer. That was a joke for your parents, don't mind me. Okay, so I can take these molecules, long and thin molecules, and attach them together so that they're stronger, and also I can sort of wind them around each other. Now, I take a whole bunch of dimers, and then I put them next to each other, and I can start weaving them together, kind of like the threads in yarn. I'll just tangle some more of them around each other and just keep building them. Now, these molecules are small compared to the cell, but they start adding up. It's kind of like, take these molecules and put them in your room, and just picture, what would it be like if you filled your room with Legos from floor to ceiling so that there wasn't room for any more, and then you open the door and shove some more Legos into it? And there wouldn't be any room for more unless the roof lifted off. And so you could just keep building more and more, putting more and more Legos in your room. The roof is going to come off, and it's just going to keep going upward. I think I just pictured that. That would be awesome. I want that. I'm going to be very happy the rest of the day. Okay, so that is how we make the molecules into a large structure that we call hair. Now let me go ahead and note that this all depends on the shape being just right. Now let me go ahead and take this apart. If the shape was not right, then we wouldn't be able to stack them like this. Let's suppose we got the plans wrong. I got a short one, a long one, short one, long one, short one. And then I put on another long one, and then another long one, and then a bunch of short ones. I'd end up with structure that would not fit together, and it would probably fall apart like it's doing right now. And so some proteins, when you build them, they produce nice strong structures. Others make proteins that are kind of all floppy all over the place. And there are proteins everywhere in the body. There's proteins in your eyes that are that are detecting light, or at least transmitting from another molecule, the signal that, I just saw some light, and sending it through some nerves, which are also using proteins. And then it sends messages to your muscles, also proteins. The whole thing works together to do all the things that you can do. One of the things in your body is hair, but there's a lot of other proteins. And they're all made of the same 20 amino acids. 20, no more, no less. Well, actually, to make keratin, there's 2 amino acids that never get used. I mean, yeah, there are some Legos that are just never going to be useful for making something like hair, so we just don't use those. But 20 amino acids, and you can make a whole bunch of different things. Consider, you can make hair, and you can also make mucus. What's mucus, you say? Well, that's the slimy stuff that comes out of your nose when you blow your nose. Better known as... Sorry, this is a family-friendly website. I don't want to use rude words here, but you know that there's other words for it, but that's mucus. Well, okay, mucus is made of 20 amino acids just like hair. So we can make hair with proteins, and we can make other substances as well. And all that matters is the order and the relative types of amino acids. Hair has more of the strong and stiff amino acids and fewer of the slimy amino acids. So you can make a whole bunch of different things from 20 different building blocks. I think that's kind of impressive. You can make something that's incredibly complicated out of little simple pieces. Now, that's more complicated than I just gave you in this video. If you want to learn more about it, take my college class in biochemistry. And at the end of your college class, I'll tell you, yeah, really, these protein molecules, it's even more complicated than I gave you. Go take a graduate school class. I've had some grad school classes, and they tell you, Oh, it's more complicated than that. Go talk to the researchers that are doing experiments on it. And even they will tell you, yeah, we don't know everything there is to know about hair or any of these proteins, but we know a lot about them, but we don't know everything. So, incredible complexity out of a few different, out of 20 different building blocks. I think that's kind of impressive. But then again, I like Legos.